All right, we'll get going today. Welcome everyone to the Meet Campus Recreation webinar. Your presenters today are Brooke McCall from representing the REC, Scott Yoder representing Adventure Outings, and myself, Steve Riccomini, representing Recreational Sports. Today, each of us are going to spend some time talking about the many and varied programs that comprise campus recreation. Topics covered will include the benefits of participating in campus recreation and also working for campus recreation programs, how we are planning to meet campus programming needs during this difficult time, and then also we're going to also touch on the things that we are planning, things that occur in our program when we are not faced with COVID restrictions. Throughout the webinar, we will be monitoring the chat, so please feel free to ask a question of us at any time.
And hello everyone, my name is Brooke McCall. I oversee programs for the REC, so it's group exercise, personal training, special events, and overall campus wellness. Based out of the REC, Campus Recreation seeks to move the campus community through play, wellness, and adventure. So Campus Rec values diversity and seeks to create a safe and fun environment that is accessible to the Chico State community. Campus Recreation, excuse me, is committed to maintaining an environment without discrimination as to race, religion, national origin, gender identity, expression, or sexual orientation.
And my name is Scott. I'm representing Adventure Outings at Chico State. And what we're basically going to be doing is going through quite a few slides here that are going to be highlighting some of the benefits of either participating in or working for campus recreation. We're going to be putting up some data for you as well. A lot of that data is coming from our governing body, which is the National Intramural and Recreational Sports Association, or NIRSA. And we're also going to be sharing data that's been collected from some of our in-house internal surveys that we've gathered from our users. So right here off the bat, we have a little bit of data just about what we are and some of the numbers that we have. So we do, campus recreation does employ approximately 180 students. That's a pretty large number of students to have working for us. They're spread out again over the 3 areas that we're representing here. As with most jobs and most entry-level jobs, we're on campus. We're hoping to give you some skills and be able to provide you with some skills moving forward to enter the workforce. You know, some of those things might be decision-making skills, customer service. There's obviously a lot of customer service in all of the jobs that we do, as well as facility maintenance, which is something that's really important to us because we have some large, impressive facilities and we need to keep them maintained. Fun little fact, campus GPA average is 2.83, and students who are employed by the campus recreation have a slightly higher GPA of 2.94. So something worth considering right there. All right, there we go.
So the REC has a weight room, cardio floors, and indoor track. And basically we offer, we take pride in saying that if we don't have it, you don't need it. We make sure that we have a lot of space and equipment to work out with, including free weights, squat racks, treadmills, dumbbells, you name it, we've got it. And if we don't have it, come find us and we'll figure out how to get it for you. So we always make sure that we like to say that there's something for everyone at the REC, and we like to back that up with the equipment that we provide. So my NIRSA fun fact is national data shows that students participating in recreational activities report higher GPA than non-participants. So for every hour of exercise per week, REC users' GPA increases by 0.6%. That's pretty impressive, people. GPAs are important, and 0.6%, I know it doesn't look like a lot, but it's a lot. Trust me, I graduated from Chico State. You need that 0.6%. Within the REC and campus recreation, we offer group exercise programming. We offer everything from yoga to fuego, which is Latin dance aerobics, a little bit of hip hop thrown in there depending on what instructor you get. We offer interval training services, indoor cycling. We have an MMA program that is comprised of everything from Muay Thai, stand-up, kickboxing to gi and no gi. Well, we don't offer gi jiu-jitsu, my apologies. We offer no gi jiu-jitsu and wrestling for fitness classes. All of our classes that we offer per week are free to students, and all the instructors that teach the classes are students. And at 2,500 visitors a day, the rec is both a recruitment and a retention tool. Approximately 55% of the students were influenced by the rec to attend Chico State. Within aquatics, we offer a wide range of aquatic programming, from lap swimming to Coach on Deck, which is a little version of our Master Swim program. You can come and check in with a coach, and they give you a workout plan for the day, help you with your stroke, form, technique, those kinds of things. We also, we like to throw pool parties. It's a great place to hang out and connect. We offer scuba classes. As you can see at the bottom corner, we offer SUP yoga. We also offer other classes in the pool, like a SUP is a stand-up paddleboard. So we also offer stand-up paddleboard abs, stand-up paddleboard butts and guts classes. If you can do it on a stand-up paddleboard, we teach it. And then we also put out a slack line above the pool. So lots of activities out of the pool to keep you moving, which is nice because Chico gets pretty toasty in the summertime. And we also have a 24-person hot tub. And all of our lifeguards, again, are students. Use of the rec encourages students to remain enrolled. So we impact retention. 86.2% of rec users are retained in school versus a rate of 78.6% for non-users. Persistence rate, 88% of rec users compared to 80% and a half point of the rest of campus. So participating in your physical well-being actually affects your retention and your likeliness of graduating. I stole that from Scott. Sorry, Scott. I really like that one. I'm just ready to go. Give me more slides.
Hey, no worries, no worries. We do have a question over there about whether the rec will be open this semester. Would one of you like to answer that, or do you want to wait until the end? We didn't really talk about when we were going to field questions.
We can answer that.
Great.
Pietro, the short answer is we don't know. But we had an original plan, and with Butte County in lockdown right now, gyms are not allowed to have their doors proverbially open. We are looking for alternative programming and trying to get creative in that programming, and that is really all we can tell you at this point. But we're constantly trying to figure out how to offer programming to students, and we will continue to offer online virtual programming for those who are in town and away.
And I think I can add on to that too, Brooke, that we are ready to open.
Oh, we're ready.
When someone says yes, when we are able to, and when it is publicly safe to do so, we are ready and we're prepared and we're ready to offer as many services as regulations will allow.
Definitely. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, great. My turn. Yeah, so this right here is a big feature within our rec center. This is a 3-story climbing wall that we have built into basically the center of our rec facility. Kind of going through these pictures here, as you can see over on the left side, that's kind of a traditional top roping situation where we would be climbing up the wall, going up those 3 stories, kind of through the levels of the building. Someone down below is keeping you on rope. That's called the belayer. We do offer opportunities for people to learn how to belay so that you and a friend might be able to go in there and climb completely self-sufficiently. So we offer a belay certification. We also offer all the gear that you would need for a climbing experience in the gym. That would include a climbing harness, that would include the ropes and the hardware that you would need, the carabiners and the belay devices, as well as shoes, chalk bags, anything of that nature. We offer that, and we provide that as a service when you come into the rec. The climbing wall is a part of the rec facility in general. There's no additional fee that's attached to going to the climbing wall. You'd be able to use it just like you'd be able to use a treadmill. One other thing that I will say within there too, being in a lot of climbing gyms and being in these types of environments, it can be fairly intimidating, and it can be something that is kind of, if you know it, then you're welcome. And if you don't, then, you know, kind of stay on the outside edges. I really take a lot of pride in knowing that at Adventure Outings and the rec center as a whole, everyone is welcome, and you're welcome to come in and ask the questions that you might be a little bit embarrassed about, whether that's a piece of gym equipment or whether that's being on the climbing wall. There's a lot of technical pieces, and you may not know them all, and we pride ourselves on creating an environment where you're able to come in there and ask all the questions that you want. You can have never had any rock climbing experience in your life, and our aim is to make sure that you feel good and you feel welcome and accepted when you leave that experience. So that's something that our staff work really, really hard on. Again, as Brooke mentioned earlier, our rock wall is completely staffed by students. So out of that 180 people that we mentioned earlier, there's a handful of students who come in, they run the wall, they monitor for safety, they set all the routes on the wall, and they're there to give you instruction. They're there to belay for you if you don't have a person to belay going up the big wall. All those things are provided, and they're all done on students, or all done with students. Currently, right now, when the gym does open, our first phase will be to open up the bouldering wall. So that big wall that you can see in the third picture over, that's our big tall wall there. You can see some ropes hanging down, and then down to the right is our bouldering wall. And that's a smaller feature that's about 12 to 15 feet off the ground, depending on where you're at on the feature. And there's no ropes required. And at this point, that's the easiest way for us to get people climbing as soon as possible. We don't have to disinfect ropes. We don't have to work really hard to clean anything afterwards. All of the holds have been pulled off the wall by myself and one of my coworkers, and we've cleaned and disinfected about 4,000 holds in the last couple of weeks. And so it's all ready to go, and it's all ready to be explored by everyone else who can access the facility. The last thing I will say is that within the rock wall itself, we're constantly changing the routes. We're constantly changing the design. We take feedback from students who are coming in and climbing, and we try to make sure that your experience, again, is what you want it to be in there. And so we're constantly trying to change and adapt and make sure that everyone who's using the rec has the best experience possible. All right, so moving on. I could keep talking about rock walls and recs or outdoor stuff for a long time. So moving on, 58.4% of students stated that using the rec increased their time management skills and their regard for others. I'm not sure those two are necessarily connected, but I think it does say a lot when people are saying, yeah, being in the gym, creating extra time in my day to go and work out and be healthy and create a sense of well-being around myself is also helping me manage my time better, which is a great thing. And then, you know, having more regard for other people is just a great human quality too. And I don't know exactly how that one plays in there, but I'm glad that we're seeing an uptick in that as well. 68.8% reported an increased interest in being healthy. So I think that just goes, I mean, I'm sure Brooke could talk about this for quite a while, but the more you work out and the healthier you get, the more interested you are in staying healthy and maintaining that level of fitness and enjoying feeling that sense of well-being that you have when you come out of the rec. And there are so many different options in there to get fit and stay healthy. So some more fun facts from NERSA. And I think we're going to talk about some trips now. So Adventure Outings does several things, and they're all quite unique in my opinion. One of our main things is that we provide trips to the student body. We provide trips that are accessible to staff and faculty and the community at large as well. Our trips are very diverse. They're wide-ranging. They range anywhere from a 2-hour experience right here in town, no transportation necessary, to big, long, full-week trips over Thanksgiving break and over spring break that we offered during normal operating seasons. I'm just going to go through these pictures here to kind of give you a little bit of context about what's going on in each of these photos. In the upper left, you can see the gentleman with the headlamp there. He's kind of squeezing through a tight space. That's one of our caving trips. The caving trip, we camp out for a couple of nights. We go to the Lava Bed National Monument, which is up in the northern section of California, up towards the Oregon border. There's a really expansive cave network up there, and there's some really, really interesting geology, lots of history up there as well. It's a cultural site as well, and so it's a really, really fun trip and a unique trip. We spend 2 days exploring some caves and try to get as deep into them as possible, try to leave there having seen as much as we possibly can. Down below, there's an individual who's rock climbing. That's one of our outdoor rock climbing sessions. Again, no experience necessary. You can come in and just say, hey, I would like to go climbing. I've read about it. I've seen it. I watched the Dawn Wall or Free Solo or any of those movies, and I just want to check this thing out. We offer courses where you can go out, and our student-led trips, so all of our students who are guides for the outdoor program, they're going out there and they're teaching you how to rock climb. They're teaching you how to use the equipment. They're teaching you how to set up anchors and do all the things that you would need to do to be able to rock climb. That spot there is about an hour and a half outside of Chico up towards Chester, a place called the Loading Zone. Bottom left picture is our intro to whitewater kayaking course. So that's a really fun one in my opinion, because whitewater is kind of central to my life, and it's a really, really safe and healthy way to learn how to kayak is right there on campus. And so what we do is we have you come to 4 pool sessions where you're learning how to, again, manage your gear, understanding basic safety procedures, and then we're teaching you how to roll a kayak, how to maneuver a kayak, how to keep spacing with other people. And then after those four roll sessions are complete, we take you out for, again, a camping / kayaking trip, and we go up on the Trinity River and we camp out for 2 nights, get to be in moving water, you get to go see some whitewater and kind of choose your own challenge to be out there on the river. Really, really fun trip. Our most popular trip is the one there in the center. Those are backpacking trips. Try to offer those are really, really fun trips. Again, typically 2.5 days, 2 nights out camping, and a lot of hiking, a lot of really, really gorgeous views that you can't see from a car. Upper right-hand corner, again, we're in Whitewater doing the rafting stuff. That's on the Sacramento River, which is up towards Mount Shasta. We have commercial operating permits on the Sacramento River, the Shasta Trinity National Forest, which includes the Trinity River, South Fork American, as well as the Klamath River. So we have lots of different opportunities. Within that as well, we do offer a course over spring break where we teach individuals how to be raft guides themselves. It's a little more expensive trip, runs just over $200, but we're talking about a 6-day experience where you're out there getting all the instruction that you would get to be able to go out in the summertime and work for a company and be a raft guide yourself. Bottom picture there is either a mountaineering or a winter backpacking trip. Both of those trips entail camping in the snow, which again is a very unique and novel experience. Get lots of opportunities to learn about snow conditions, learn about safe snow travel. On the mountaineering trip, we're using ice axes and crampons and kind of getting into some more technical aspects of climbing mountains in the wintertime. We summit Mount Brokaw in the morning as the sun's rising. It's a pretty special trip for sure. Some of our other trips that we offer are sea kayaking trips. We offer canoeing trips. We offer just day hikes and evening hikes where we're going up and utilizing our Upper Park area, hiking up into Big Chico Creek Canyon, going out to Table Mountain, going to Feather Falls. We also offer stand-up paddleboarding trips down the Sacramento River where we're just taking you down a 4 or 5 mile stretch of the Sacramento, and you get to be out there in the evening time. Those are usually typically in the middle of the week after classes are over for the day, and we take you out for a couple of hours out there. We also offer, we offer some expedition rafting trips where we're actually rafting and camping while we're going down the river and kind of moving along with it. As well as some unique trips, some mountain biking trips, and some trips where we combine some other things such as watercolor painting or outdoor photography, which are really fun as well. Last few things before I stop talking for a little bit here is we also have a yurt, which we rent out to students and staff in the wintertime. It's a really, really inexpensive way to get out in the snow. It's about 1.5 mile hike in, and then you get to camp out in the snow. We have a wood stove out there. It's completely covered, so it's kind of a cabin and a tent combined, basically. And it's a really, really fun time. We also have an equipment room. That is one thing that for sure we are going to be able to offer some services around this semester, regardless of what happens, is to be able to allow students and staff to rent gear from us. We rent anything from backpacks and tents and sleeping bags to watercraft, rock climbing equipment, mountaineering equipment, and lots of things that you would need to support each of those types of trips. So we do want to make sure, even if we're not able to be out there with you and taking you on trips, that you'll be able to get out there on your own. And we've got staff who have lots of excellent information. They can help you get set up for your trip and really set you up for some success around that.
All right, before we move on to our next area, which will be myself, are there any questions for Scott and Adventure Outings or anything in the chat?
I'm seeing a question from Maureen about whether Adventure Outings is going to be able to do trips this semester. And the answer to that question is we're still waiting for some final word on that. We do have trips planned in the event that we're able to get people out within our local region here. We're thinking that we'll probably only do guided trips within Butte County for the first semester, simply because at this point, we're not allowed to transport other people in cars. Cars present a big problem as far as contacting other people who don't live in your house. And so that's why we're sticking to Butte County, but Butte County has access to a lot of really great areas, even within our tiny little county. We've got high alpine stuff, we've got valley rivers, we've got whitewater right here in our county as well. So we do have a plan to make those things happen if we're able to do that. The only difference from other semesters would be that participants would need to provide their own transportation to get there, which is probably going to be no more than 25 or 30 minutes to the site that we're able to do those. As of now, we're still waiting to hear whether we're going to be able to do that or not.
All right, thanks, Scott.
Yep.
My NERSA fun fact is recreation participants are more likely to report improved feelings of well-being. And again, 88% of rec users say that the rec moderately to highly impacts their overall health, well-being, and fitness. The many areas of campus recreation, we've hit on two so far. The first one is the rec and all the programs that the rec offers. We like to say the rec is definitely more than a building. It houses many programs that Brooke hit on. Adventure Outings is another second set of programs that offers, and they live in the rec, but they go out around the community. And the third program is my area where I work in. And sorry about that. My area is in recreational sports and the sport club area. And these, again, are housed in the rec and are part of campus recreation. They're just our third prong to success in meeting students. And the sport club program is a really neat program that functions on our campus. We have around 22 plus sport club programs on the Chico State campus. And some of the pictures I'll go through, and we have many more of those available on our website. And if Scott or Brooke could please put in the chat our Keep Playing website. That is our kind of one-stop source for campus recreation and includes links to the rec, Adventure Outings, our virtual programming we're planning for the fall, and also to recreational sports and sport clubs. The sport clubs are great in the sense that these are student organizations. They come together and they have formed clubs. Some of these clubs have a really long history on our campus. Our rugby clubs have been around since the 1970s. Our lacrosse clubs have been since the 1980s. And they're student run, and every year they elect student leaders, and these student leaders are their presidents, their vice presidents, treasurers, and their safety officers, travel officers, and they run the club. It's a great experience, and a club like our men's lacrosse club over here has a very big budget. These budget comes from student fees. So to be a member of a sport club, there is a fee involved in that, and that goes to pay for the cool shirts that they're wearing in the photo there, and also for their coaches, and also for their travel. Because what sport clubs do is they travel around the state of California. They also travel outside of California, and they compete against other colleges and universities in their respective sports. So our men's and women's rugby teams will play Cal, they'll play Stanford, they'll play Sac State, they'll play UC Davis, they'll go to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Our mountain bike club in the center will go to races in Reno and Tahoe and in Oregon. Our women's water polo team, we also have a men's water polo team. They'll go to Notre Dame and compete against other club sport programs. So they're highly organized. They have regular practices. So the water polo club teams will be in our pool in the morning or at night in the rec practicing with their coaches. And the great part is the team is responsible for hiring the coaches. A lot of the coaches continue on with the program, but the team is in total control. We as an office in recreational sports that oversee sport clubs, we don't ever come down and say, you have to fire your coach or we're going to put a new coach in there. It's really up to the clubs to function that way. And this is our men's rugby club down here in the lower left corner, participating here on campus. And they actually had a very successful year a couple years ago. They traveled to North Carolina and played for a national championship against Dartmouth. Unfortunately, they lost. Some of the other clubs that we have on campus are, we have a golf team, we have a baseball club team, men's and women's basketball team, men's and women's volleyball team. We have a bass fishing club. We also have men's and women's lacrosse, men's and women's water polo, men's and women's rugby. Trying to think of any ones I'm missing offhand.
We have a question about the golf club.
Yes.
So it says, Damon asks that they don't see a golf club on the school website, but on the National Collegiate Club Golf Association, Chico is listed as a club team. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem. And it fits right into kind of how sport clubs function. And I think it was, you said Damon who had the question?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Damon, how clubs work is it's really in the strength of their members. And it's those students who come together and they form a club, and they form that club to last a long time. And unfortunately, we had a student come to us about 3 years ago, very interested in forming a golf club team. And their motivations was basically for themselves. They wanted to continue to play golf. So they worked really, really hard at it, but they didn't set anybody else up for success. And so when that person graduated, the club kind of just died. But the sport club advisor, Tony Perez, his job is, if you're interested, is to make that club happen again. So if you go to Tony and say, I would like to form up a men's club, I have this number of students interested, because we've had that club already on campus, Tony is a fantastic resource to help you get that club up and running. And that goes for any other club that you may not see that we offer. As students come to us all the time about wanting to offer different clubs and or other organizations and things like that. And we are very open to that and encourage that and promote that. So we don't have a club currently, but we have had the history of a club on campus. And so it wouldn't be something very hard for us to begin, because we are familiar with their league. We are familiar with where they would have to travel and restrictions and everything else like that. So. In addition to our sport clubs, we also have a number of recreational clubs, and recreational clubs are a little bit different in the sense that a lot of times they don't travel and compete in a regularly scheduled contest. They do travel to like showcases, and a lot of those fall into our dance clubs. We have Envy Hip Hop, a ballroom dance club. We actually have our Chico State Cheer Club. So who cheers on the Wildcats? They actually are a club for us, and they are different in the sense that they don't compete, but they do practice regularly. A lot of them do have coaches, and sometimes the dance clubs, they will travel to maybe 1 or 2 showcases, either locally in town or just not far out of town, like Sacramento or areas like that. So we have a number of clubs, and we have a number of opportunities for the sport clubs. The one issue is, we have a men's and women's volleyball club and men's and women's soccer club, and we get a number of people that try out for those clubs. So there can be actual cuts with those. You can end up not making those clubs. But that's just to keep their numbers low, and that's also to help keep so that everybody does get a chance to participate. So the clubs are very highly competitive, and if you're looking to continue on with that experience, we do have that.
Real quick, while we're in between slides, we have a question about employment at the rec and how a student who's interested in applying at the rec would be able to.
I can take that one if you all want. I mean, there's two different facets of it. So how about I take the rec portion? I'm sorry, I have a 4-month-old puppy and there's nobody here to wrangle her right now. So my apologies. So if you all are interested in working at the rec, you want to follow the Associated Students website under Human Resources is where we post all open job positions. And like we said, I mean, all of our employees out of, I'd say 150 employees at the rec, 130 of them are students. So the entire rec is student run, excuse me. The entire rec is student run. As an AS organization. We are student run, owned and operated. So you would apply at aschico. It's associate. Steve, can you put the?
I'm gonna put it up, Brooke.
Can you just put it in the chat? I'm so sorry. She's calming down now. So you would keep an eye on that website. We are unsure of what positions we're going to need to hire. But once we do, that's where they will be posted. So if you're interested in any of the positions mentioned, we also have front desk staff. We have fitness staff that walk the floor that are responsible for enforcing rules on the equipment and things like that. They're kind of the lifeguards of the facility. Those positions are posted there, in addition to custodial and maintenance positions as well. And that is where you would work for the climbing gym, as well as the climbing gym and equipment rental.
And just a little bit of an addition as far as employment as within AO, yes, those positions for the climbing wall and for the equipment room and for the Adventure Outings office will also be posted on that link that we have down below there if there are student openings. The other way to get involved is to volunteer and become an assistant leader. Everybody who's a guide for Adventure Outings starts being an assistant leader, where you go on trips, you shadow other people, you get the flow of the trips, you understand how trips are executed. And once you've put in volunteer hours, you're able to start being paid to lead those trips yourself. So it's a slightly different process for Adventure Outings trip leaders. But again, most everything as far as employment opportunities is going to come through that link that I shared in the chat.
Thank you so much, Scott. And now that my distraction is gone and my brain is working clearly. In addition, if you are interested in being a group exercise instructor or personal trainer, all of those positions, again, are student-led. And the group exercise instructors, we train them in-house. So if you have the desire, if you have the excitement about exercise, we can teach you whatever it is that you want to teach. So if you're really into indoor cycling or you really want to teach dance aerobics, we can teach you how to do that. There is no external certification required. And if you are interested in being a personal trainer, I'm the person that you would contact about that. I will put my email in the link, GroupX as well. And we do require an outside certification for trainers, but you can be hired on as a trainer before you get your certification. So it really all comes down to drive and motivation and what you're looking to accomplish through your certification and training.
All right, thank you all. And I will jump quickly on that. And in a long drawn out conversation that you don't really want to know is campus recreation is made up of the two programs, one considered from the state side and one from the Associated Student side, which simply means when looking for a job in recreational sports, which is my side of the world, you would go through the CSU Chico Career Center, and I believe it is Handshake. It may have just changed over, but any job postings that we have in recreational sports, we will post over there on, which is considered on the state side, and there's just different, basically it comes down, it's just different of when you get paid. And some of the job opportunities within recreational sports is we hire facility managers. Since we use a number of facilities across campus and we use them in the evenings and at night, we hire students to kind of watch those facilities to make sure things are going the way that they should be. And then we also hire probably our most, which is our intramural officials. And I'll be speaking about intramurals in a second, but we hire a number of students, around 30 plus students a semester, to officiate our intramural contests. And like Brooke said, really what you need to have is a willingness to learn. You do not have to have been an official or anything in the past. Those are skills that we want to teach you. And we've had students actually move on from our program and are now officiating college basketball and college football. So it's another great opportunity to earn some hours and get a great job on campus. My NERSA fun fact is recreation participation provides an opportunity for students to develop relationships with individuals from different cultures. 61% of rec users say that the rec moderately to highly impacts their respect for others, and 52% of all users of the rec are female. And thank you, Brooke, for that. My area, this is the program I directly oversee. It's intramural sports, or intramurals for short. It's a funny name, so I always have to kind of explain it a little bit. Intramural sports are sporting activities, sports-related activities for students it's Chico State students competing against Chico State students on the Chico State campus. So a sport club would go out and compete against students from other colleges and universities. Intramurals, is Chico State students against Chico State students. And we offer over 22 leagues and tournaments during non-restricted times, outdoor soccer, indoor soccer, flag football, dodgeball, softball, volleyballs, and we have a number of different skill levels. So we have skill levels for highly competitive individuals, and we have skill levels for those teams that are just looking to participate and have fun. There is a small team fee to play intramural sports, but there is no regular practice. There's no coach, there's no conditioning, any of that stuff. If you never played down a football in your life, but you would like to play intramural flag football, that's completely okay. That's, it's intramurals is all about the experience. It's not about the skill level. And most of our games all take place in the evenings, Monday through Thursday after 6 o'clock at night, so we can work them around your schedule. And Friday afternoons, rarely do we have anything that happens on weekends. And if you have a team, you can sign up a team, but we also have a free agent process as well. And through our Keep Playing website, you can find out more about intramurals, where you can go and you can sign up as a free agent. And then we do our best to get you on a team, or to actually create a free agent team to give you a chance to participate. Also within intramurals, we do a number of special activities. The gentleman in the upper up there, he's in actually one of our bubble soccer balls. And bubble soccer is just, you may have seen it or done it at a grad night or something like that. It's just you're wrapped in a big plastic ball, and we roll a soccer ball out there and you kick it around. And the whole goal is not the actual soccer, but it's running into each other and knocking each other down. And it's a lot of fun and very tiring. And that's something we do as a special event throughout the semester. We also have a game called archery tag, and has soft arrow tips that don't hurt. And we have face masks and things like that, so that you can participate in that. And that's something that we do throughout the year. And we also do some ping pong tournaments and badminton tournaments as well. Now during these restricted times, one thing that we're really focusing on in intramural sports is offering a number of esports gaming opportunities. And there will be more about those on the Keep Playing website. But those are things that we'll be offering through a great software platform called Geeks. And that will be able to make sure that it's Chico State students participating against other Chico State students. And if you win, what all intramural participants, what they all fight for is they all want to win the classic intramural championship t-shirts, which I usually have, but I don't have now. So that's kind of intramurals in a nutshell. It's a step down from sport clubs in competition, but it really is, if it's meant for those people that don't have maybe the time to commit to a sport club. You don't have the time to commit weekends and nights to practice. So you play intramural sports because you only participate one night a week. But no way does that indicate that there's not a lot of competition within intramural sports. Because as I said, we have it from competition for more recreational fun to we have very high levels of competition in games and basketball and things like that. And once again, in this center picture here, you can see kind of some students in red shirts, and those are our officials, and those are officials we hire to work these games and gain some real world skills that they can then use in the summer or once they graduate.
Great, Steve. You ready for a question?
Yes.
Awesome. How can incoming freshmen, this is from Chris, really good question. How can incoming freshmen get involved in club or IM sports this fall given COVID restrictions?
Great question, Chris. I would say within the Keep Playing website, which you'll see down here at the bottom, that's kind of going to be your space to go to for you to find out all up-to-date information of what we're going to do for intramural sports. And much like was indicated earlier, intramural sports, adventure outings, the rec, we are all ready to open because we want students to come back, but I will say more or less we are prepared to open. So that Keep Playing website will also keep you abreast of any changes upcoming. And then if we are able to offer any in-person programming, what that in-person programming will be. So initially we will start off with virtual programming. The sport clubs are kind of in a little bit, it's hard for them because they cannot come together to practice and do what they need to do, but the clubs are going to be recruiting in the fall. So that Keep Playing website will be a great resource for virtual club fairs and other things to make those connections.
And we also want to encourage folks to download the Rec app. It is free, it's available, and it is also another place to easily access the latest information that we have coming out. And it's also a great opportunity for you to be able to see what's coming up in terms of special event programming. You can get push notifications if anything changes, so you don't have to be checking it. And so we encourage you to do that as well. And definitely stay tuned, y'all. We're really working on ways that we can get creative to offer programming and make sure that students can be active and well and healthy in the community and outside. So for students that are both in town and out, we have a lot of things that we are creatively working on. And then also follow our social media. We post, all of our areas post pretty frequently on social media as far as exercise tips, full workouts. There'll be a class schedule coming out. I know that there are there's a lot of engagement on our social media, and in a time that we're lacking connection, it's a great way to find like-minded folks and information that will keep you sane and excited about goals that will help you be successful within your academic career.
And I've got a question here for AO. I'm going to answer a question about the rec equipment room being open for any set dates this fall. So as of today, our plan is to open the last week of August and be open through the end of the semester. And when I say open, I use that term loosely. But the plan is that we will be open on Mondays and Fridays. And if you have an adventure that you want to get yourself out on, or you want to try something new in the area, we're going to have a form on our website. I don't believe it's up there yet just because we aren't live, but I've put the link to Adventure Outings up in the chat. What you'll do is you'll go on there, you'll fill out the form, you'll tell us what you want, and it'll just be like going to all the things that you've probably experienced in the last few months as far as curbside pickup goes. We will have your gear ready for you. You will pull up to a back entrance to our equipment room, and we will send you off with your gear. You will have paid remotely already. You can ask us some questions, some basic thoughts on how to use the gear, things like that if you need. But we are at this point planning on having the equipment room available and accessible to students so that they can rent gear and get out on trips. I hope that answers your question. Okay, feel free to ask follow-up questions if you need to. But yeah, we will have a majority of our equipment available to rent. So as you can see from the last slide, this is kind of where we're done talking, and we've shared everything that we kind of have to offer. I do just want to say all three of us and the rest of the staff who we're representing are really passionate about what we do in all of our respective areas, and we're really looking forward to seeing everybody, and we're really looking forward to working hard to give you all the best experience possible regardless of circumstances. And we realize there's some challenging ones right now, but we're gonna fight hard for you all, and we're gonna try to make sure that as many things are accessible to you as possible. And I realize some things might not be, but Our goal is to work within the guidelines and work within what we have to put on a great experience for you all when you set foot on campus this semester. So thank you all for being here. If you have more questions, feel free to pipe in with your voice or throw them up in the chat. We'll give you a few minutes of awkward silence if need be. I'm seeing some come through right now. Brett just asked, is there an FPV drone club on campus, or where can I find out?
Ah, I'll take that.
Wow, throw them out to stump us. That's a good one.
No,
I want to know this. I want to know the answer to this.
You know, I will never say never if that club exists or does not exist on campus. The place to find that would be with Student Life and Leadership. Kendra Wright, she oversees clubs and organizations, and that would be a great resource to check to find out if that club does exist on our campus. In rec sports, we oversee like I said, around the 25 or so sport movement related clubs, but there are hundreds of other clubs on this campus, and the Student Life and Leadership office over there, they coordinate that. And so they would be a fantastic resource to check their website, and they can get you in contact with the hundreds of other clubs that do exist on this campus.
And then I can take the, if and when the rec opens someday, when the rec actually opens our doors, and we are giving clearance for that sometime in the future, we have new scanners that you'll use your student ID. Oh, you'll use, it's through the rec app, I believe, is how you will register and get into the rec itself. So that has to do with, that equipment will have to do with actually when we are cleared to open the actual facility itself. Outside of that, it will remain to be seen, but I would hold your student ID close. Just always know where your student ID is. Yes. At this point. And then where, Steve, do you know, or is Sean on, do you know where they'll be able to access the recorded version of the webinar?
I do not. I would have to leave that up to Sean if he is still out there. Sean. So if not, I will check and see. I imagine off of Sean's, the student orientation site, which I believe is through Student Life and Leadership, he will probably have a link to all of these talks as well. I will speak for Sean in that case. And as Brooke was talking about our rec app, again, as I keep plugging and plugging away at the Keep Playing website, that also has the links on that site so that you can then download for your Android or iPhone the rec app. Any other questions?
Threw the link in there for the summer orientation website, and I don't want you all to have to wait for me to find it, but I'm sure that the recorded sessions are probably accessible somewhere through that spot. And if you don't see it, I'm sure there's a number and email that allows you to contact someone that will know the answer and get you there quickly.
All right, well, I'm not seeing anything new in the chat over there, so I'm assuming we gave you all of the information that you could possibly want. We're all easily accessible. We can be reached. If you just do a quick Google search, you can find each of our programs. You can find each of us through Campus Directory as well. We'd love to answer any more questions that might come up if you need them. But for now, I think we're going to go ahead and sign off. But we look forward to seeing you all this fall at some point in some capacity.
Oh, I'm just seeing if we had any more else. No, awesome, thank you. Yeah, again, look us up on the Keep Playing website. We will be happy to answer your questions. Again, we're very excited about having you join us virtually or on campus. Yes, Brooke.
I cannot believe I forgot to mention this, but since we are signing off and we're saying where to go, we have a lot of really fun Wildcat welcome activities planned that you can find on the student on the Student Life and Leadership website. And the Summer O, the Wildcat Welcome Week is coming. Yay. And so we have some really fun events planned, like a scavenger hunt. We have a virtual 5K run, walk, whatever you can write it, coming up on August 29th. And so while we won't have our normal services in play for, Welcome Week activities, we are doing this in style, y'all. And so there's a lot to keep you moving, to keep you active, to reach out to incoming students. And so make sure you check those out as well, and we hope to see you in there.
And lastly, I'll be adding all of our emails into the chat. So if you have any questions down the road about the rec, adventure outings, or recreational sports, you can contact Scott, Brooke, or myself directly. And hopefully I got those emails correct.
Nicely done, Steve.
Thank you.
I mean, we've only worked together for 11 years.
Yeah. Well, I remember yours. Is it good?
It's good.
Thank
I'm
you.
impressed.
And I think I got Scott's right, the SL Yoder.
Oh.
Is it SL?
L for
Hi.
SI. Oh, correction. Sorry about that.
Do that.
Okay.
I was going to say that's perfect. L for leadership. That's Scott.
Well, we'll put out a last call for any questions, either in the chat or if you want to ask them in person. If not, then we will begin to sign off.
Bye, everyone. It was great talking to you. Thank you for coming.
Sorry, was that a quick question? All right. Scott, Brooke, thank you very much.
Well done. Pleasure.